Hi.
Hey, Brian's on Instagram. What up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
From the Blamed, yeah.
Oh,
Bryan guy.
do you have any stories with you and Bryan, about you and Bryan?
Actually, I think Bryan is the one that introduced Klank. No, where did we meet Klank?
Yes, because I was with Bryan and we went. I was
Okay.
with him and we went to Concord, and it was a show that was going on, and you came. It was kind of like, oh, by the way, this is my friend Raph, and you were like, wow, what's up, dude? We just kind of hit it off, and
Right.
yeah.
At the Scream? Was that at the Scream?
No, it was at Brian's house, right? We hung out there.
But it was before there was like a warehouse kind of gig. It was a show somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was. I don't remember who was playing, because I remember we kind of showed up later, and it was like in between bands. So there was a lot of people outside, because I think it was like 148 degrees inside, most likely.
Right.
Keeping with California.
Right.
Yeah. And then we hung out after that, and then I remember we exchanged numbers and stuff, and then the rest is just wacky history.
Right.
Yeah, you guys are all living kind of in that same area too, right? Ralph, you were up there. Is that right?
Yeah,
you guys
I was in high school. I was in Palo Alto, and then moved to San Jose after that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, and then Bryan, I believe, was living in Pleasanton area, somewhere around there. And then we hung out. I think it was at his house, just chilling. Like,
I thought he was a Santa Cruz boy.
Well, his parents were.
Oh.
I remember he was staying at this guy Rolf's house. I don't know why I remember that, but I just remember it was crazy. There was G.G. Allen CDs everywhere, and I think that must have mostly been because of Jake. At the same time, my friend Jake.
Oh, Jake, right?
Yeah.
What happened to Jake?
Jake is in upstate New York, roasting coffee.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
He makes the Klank coffee.
yes.
If anybody wants to order it.
Wow.
Exactly. Oak and Crow Coffee is Jake Landrow.
Wait, you have your own coffee?
We do. You're a coffee snob. Come on, man. You should know.
Yeah. No, I'm not a coffee guy. But tell us about that. How did you get into that? What's that all about?
Talking to Jake, actually, because he had reached out and said, hey, I know, you and Pat are coffee people. He's like, who isn't? Would you be interested in doing a collaboration one day? And we're like, actually, yeah, we have been talking about it. So he sent a bunch of samples to try, and we went kind of back and forth, and then we settled on something we thought was pretty cool. And we call it right
Between
Unholy and the Grind, because our last album, the albums we put out was Between Unholy and Divine Volume 1 and 2. So we kind of decided to be a little cheeky with the wordplay.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, is that the weirdest thing you have for merch? I guess is your name on anything else?
It's probably the best.
Yeah.
No more lighters and panties. We sold out of those a long time ago. Sorry. No, yeah, this
Have
is
your own wine.
Yes, our branding spectrum. The next up is going to be whiskey wine. Soap. Loofahs. We're called Klank loofahs. Kloofahs.
I need some clean coffee.
It is. It's the an industrial strength collaboration between us and Oak and Crow.
Sweet.
Very cool.
Awesome. Buy yourself some coffee out there, everybody.
Yes. oakandcrow.com.
Bring some
You
to
know who else
TOMCON.
was in the Santa Cruz? Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, you know who else is in Santa Cruz? Oh, no. So it looks like Instagram. It says, we suspect automated behavior on your account. To prevent your account from being temporarily restricted, ensure that no other users or tools have access to your account and you're following our terms of use.
How am I supposed to steal credit
Technology.
card information?
I know.
Technology.
Let's see if we're still, let me just check and see if we're still live.
This is a little behind the scenes for everybody.
Yeah.
How did you guys? So I want to know, how did you guys end up? Pat, are you from California? I mean, how did you guys both end up?
No, we grew up on Long Island.
You're both from Long Island.
Yeah, we're both from Long Island. That's how we met. We were both. He was in Circle of Dust. I was in a thrash band called Toxic Shock, and we were always out promoting, and we'd always run into each other the same every weekend.
Every weekend
venues, and then we just started talking, and we just like him and rap. We just hit it up. We exchanged numbers, and no, yeah, and then he was going on. So I had helped set up on one of the Still Suffering tours the live tape. We did some studio work together to prepare for a tour.
The very first tour.
The very first tour, yeah. And then you lost, like right before, like a week before, like the second tour.
Yeah.
You lost a guitar player, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come do the tour." And
it was like Spinal Tap. So
yeah.
I was like, "Hey, Pat, how do you feel about going away?" And he's like, "What days do I have to tell my boss I'll be gone?" That was it.
And that was it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What brought you guys out to California then? Why did you do that? It's a long way.
Yeah, change of scenery, weather, try to do something a little different. You know, I to back up a little, I took a job working for Ringling Bros for a while. We had taken a break from touring for a couple of years. So I was a transportation manager and the show welder fabricator. And I spent 8 years on a train going back and forth, coast to coast to coast to coast. And then we had been reaching out and talking about working on some newer stuff. And I actually came through New York when we were playing at the Garden and Nassau Coliseum. And so we had some stuff we worked on, cut vocals and did some things. And it was like, man, it went really well. And then it was like, okay, my time on the Circus was kind of coming to an end. And it was like, we were in Colorado. And I was like, I'm closer to the West Coast. Do I just kind of jump off here or try to tote everything and get even farther in debt going back to the East Coast? And I said, well, let's try it out here because our other guitar player, Ducci, was out here. So I stayed with him for a couple of months till I got an apartment, got on my feet. And then shortly afterwards, Pat came out. And then the 2-bedroom little place we had in the hood, we ended up getting a better place. Ironically, next door to Ducci and his family, because his aunt owned a duplex. So it was like 3 bedrooms with a fenced-in yard, the whole nine. And I mean, so it was like, you know, it was awesome. It was kind of a no-brainer for us, you know, and it worked out really well. And then now the way the cards dealt now, Pat's in San Jose, and I'm like 32 miles away in Santa Cruz. I'm over the hill, you know. So.
Interesting. Did you find the cultural shift a change? I mean, are you guys New Yorkers still, or?
Well, yeah, people will always say like, you guys talk funny. You're not from around here.
Sure.
And I'm just like, well, I mean, Bryan used to say all the time, when the very first time I stayed at Bryan's house, and he said, oh, we're going to cross the street over here. So I went to cross the street and he goes, can't do that. I'm like, what? He goes, that's jaywalking. I'm like, if I can cross the streets of Manhattan and not get killed, this is nothing. You know, we're in Santa Cruz, you know, whatever. And he's like, dude, he goes, you don't look like you're from here. I was like, I don't? I was like, I got shorts and a tank top and long hair. He goes, yeah, but you just don't look like you're from here. He'll be on you like white on rice. So, yeah. So even after all these years, it's still a little bit of you know, people will point out, you're not from here originally, are you?
Right.
Nah,
and it's funny. It's funny. A lot of times I'll get people asking if I'm from Boston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is weird.
You're like, don't insult me like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about you, Rolf? What happened to you? You phased out on us.
Yeah.
You had some questions, did you?
I did. Well, let's introduce everybody. For those who don't know, Darren, also mostly known as Klank, has been a good friend of mine for a long time. How long has it been? Like 30 years? And
93, maybe
longer. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
So he was signed to Tooth and Nail Records. That was your first label, right? And then he went independent after that. Is that wrong?
We went to Tooth and Nail and then independent.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And then Pat you've been with working with Darren for how long now?
30.
Probably like 96, 97.
96?
Something like that.
97? You
Okay.
were hitting that 30-year
long
cusp.
Yeah.
Right.
We were both young, or I was young.
Hey,
You guys still look young.
at heart.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
feel young when I get up at night. I get up in the morning and everything goes creak, crack, crack.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
back's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some days I get up, I'm like, wow, I need a shoulder sling. Why? Because I yawned and I stretched. That's what I
Right.
did.
That's exactly right. But
So-
these, the relationships that we've had, and like you guys were just talking about, 30 years. I mean, it's incredible for our little community because of all of these friendships we do have. And I'm grateful for all those things. It's kind of cool to be able to hang and talk after 30 years about all this stuff.
Yeah.
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 Totally. Yep.
That's kind of what we were talking about like the other day, was like looking forward to doing this. Is like, we don't tour as much as we used to. Most people don't, because they can't, unless you already were successful and already had families and money and 401ks invested. These days, that's like a pipe dream, unless you plan out like a year or two in advance and you go, okay, this is my 1 or 2 weeks to do something. But now it's like things like this, we don't really get out. There's not really many festivals to begin with that we used to go to back in the day. So we don't really see a lot of the people, even in our own state, so this, especially going down to Southern California. The last time was we played the Queen Mary for a music festival in Long
Wow.
Beach, which was kind of
That
cool.
was
But that was
sweet.
like the last time
Right.
we saw like Orlando.
That was probably like 2016.
Yeah, yeah. So
Probably. It's been a while.
that's what we're sitting out there. It's like, man, there's a lot of people who we haven't seen, and a lot of people who said, oh, I saw you guys back then, but we never, I never got to talk to you or whatever. So now it's like we're going to get to see old friends, and I'm sure we're going to see people who we've interacted with online and became friends with, but never had the opportunity to see face to face yet,
Yeah.
which is
that's
cool.
Yeah.
know,
I'm really looking forward to the interactivity between not just us, band members and people that have known each other, but the fans. I'm a fan. And so I'm a fan of you guys. So being able to rub shoulders with you, hang out with you, tell you one of my stories, get an autograph, get a photograph, that's a huge deal for me as a fan. I love the idea of it. And I love that we get to hang out and see each other again, all of us.
absolutely,
Back
especially
then.
because like we did Tom Festival. I want to say we played twice, but you booked us once at the Push.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the tail end of the Still Suffering tour. I don't know if it was the first. Or the
EDL,
second.
it was EDL played too. I just saw that flyer.
Yeah.
It's Klank and EDL. Like,
Ay.
I have it.
Now it seems like
Yeah. Crazy. It feels like yesterday.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, in a twisted way, you're like,
Yeah.
that wasn't that long ago, and then you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just literally saw that flyer the other day. So yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, let me look at my memories here. Oh, no debt, no mortgage, none of this. Wow, that was a long time ago.
You know what? I was broke then and broke
Yeah,
down.
I'm just a different type of broke now.
Right. But we accomplished so much as kids. I mean, you guys were very young, putting out records and touring and writing scores and shit like that. I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, you're prolific for sure. Tell us about that. Is that just something that comes from you guys, or do you just have a work ethic? You want to get stuff out there, or is it a passion thing? What is it? What drives you guys to keep going?
I think it's more of just who we are, right?
Mental illness and
Yeah.
insanity.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but yeah, it's an extent, it's that, because like we've been saying recently, it's still fresh. It's still fresh because we enjoy each other's company. Obviously, you get in this working relationship where he'll come up with something and send me, like, during the course of the day, I'll say, hey, check this out. Something I came up with, at lunch or whatever. And he'll send me like a little sketch or something. And it's like, and then instantly, you know how your brain goes, especially if you're a vocalist and a singer, you get melodies, you start hearing little things. Or I'd say, oh, hey, I got an idea for something. Or I just have these I have a vocal line and a melody, but no music underneath it. So I'll like hum it and like send him like this really bad voice to text kind of thing. A lot of times I'll do video just because it's funny because the video will have better audio, but you won't see me. You'll just see like the ceiling or something. And it's like, there's been times he sent me something, and by the time I had it, I was like, oh my God. I just started getting really, the creative juice was flowing and inspired. So it's like, by lunchtime, I'll send back him, hey, check this out. I got like 2 layers of rough vocals and a guitar line. What do you think of this? And then he'll get home from work and like, oh, by the way, before I left work, I did this. And then he sends it back. The structure's changed and it's got samples and loops. And I'm just like, oh. And it's still that fresh today, which for us, it has to be fun. It has to be enjoyable because when stuff, we understand it's important because it's work, but it's fun work. We've been fortunate that for 99.9% of our career and history, we haven't had somebody standing over us, do this, do that. You got studio time. Let's go. Wrap it up. It's a blessing and a curse to have your own studio. And Pat has had that facilitated since before he was in a band. He was, he had gone to college learning audio stuff. And then he was just starting in his room with all this gear. So you get, I don't want to say jaded to it because you know how it is. Nothing's ever finished until you master it. But you can have 742 mixes of one song before you get to the mastering point. And that's where, we'll have to, I don't want to say keep each other in check, but we'll say, hey, what do you think about this? I like this mix. Let's listen to it. Okay. You listen in the studio, listen in his car, listen in his earbuds, and listen at work. And I'll do the same thing with me in the kitchen, the Bluetooth, my work buds, the whole nine. And then we compare notes. Hey, is there anything you listened to you didn't like? And then we, compare it like that, usually finalize things. And then we'll reconvene back here at home base in the studio. And then, okay, we think we're done. We're penciled in. This is the finished final mixes, number 37. So we'll listen to it. And then from there, usually if we have that poop eating grin, like this is gold. Okay, we're good. We're happy.
Then 2 weeks later, we change it.
I say, hey, did you say that? Because there's one little thing. Yeah, I heard the same thing. I know. And that's what's great about especially our relationship is because we're so in tune with working with each other. I anticipate a lot of stuff he'll do and vice versa. And especially if I'm running by him some vocal lines, like as a producer, I'll say, hey, let this play for a second. This is what I'm thinking of, melody line. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. And then I play it and then he'll go, I know we didn't record that, but what I'm already hearing is if you did a high harmony of that, do a low thing, hold out over here. And then it's instantly like the same thing. The wheels spin in his head. And then we'll get down to the end of something. I'll be like, do you realize we have 12 vocals on this? He's like, yeah, it's a lot of vocals. I got ideas for 3 more harmonies. All right, let's go. Click, record. At the end of the day, it's more work for him mixing. But like I said, nothing's ever finalized until it's, that's a wrap with a bow on it. So there's been times we've had things that we were like, this is done. We're not touching it. We're not even going to listen to it again for 3 months. And then we reconvene and we're like, yeah, twist this, turn that, add this,
Yeah. So we don't release stuff as often as we should.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good marriage, though. Sounds like you guys have a good working marriage.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Hetero life mates.
That's right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Bryan in the comments wanted me to ask Klank, what's the story about the contact lens and the Super Soaker at Cornerstone?
Maybe Brian's the only one that remembers.
Well, my memory isn't what it is, but I'm assuming it has to do with Bryan blasting me in the eye and my contact lens traveling up into my eyelid and probably not getting it out for a while. Probably being super frustrated and might have said a couple of flim, flam, flam, filth kind of things. Because it's, 100 degrees in a cornfield getting blasted in the eye. Am I about right, Bryan? Does it sound about right?
Bryan was always the prankster, always the jokester, always doing something like that.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
That's why it always worked out great with him playing with us, because Bryan has been a constant in one form of another, whether it was bass, guitar, immoral support, that kind of thing. So it's like there's many, like when you talk about old stories, there's many stories with just constant shenanigans with him and us in general.
Getting anaconded.
Yeah,
The van.
the anaconda. Yeah, he'd get behind you and go, and like hold you and like violently shake you. I totally forgot about that until just now.
He used to slap my tattoos. Anytime I get a new tattoo, he would just slap it like a fresh tattoo. He will slap a fresh tattoo.
Because that's the best thing for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Better than scratching, right?
I was thinking last night of because you were talking about old Tom Fest stories and something, and there's two I remember in particular, but one, it was the very first time we played, and having known Allan Aguirre forever, I mean, Circle of Dust played with him in the Scattered Few days. We did touring with him, Klank when he was Spyglass Blue, and
he's coming up next on Wednesday, by the way.
And I think you know exactly where I'm going in this.
That's why I'm like
cringing.
No, I'm giggling.
We get into the merch area, and it's a barn, complete with like, hay on the ground, the whole nine. It's old, it's wood, very flammable. God forbid you do anything stupid in there with flames, but I digress.
We got Motley Crue. We got Motley Crue playing.
So we got a boombox with Shout at the Devil playing at the merch table. And we had, so the table was like a U. The table went up like this and then across and then back. So we were like the very last one here, or second to last. And then it was a table across here, and it was Allan and his guys. And he was like, "Oh, hey guys, how you doing?" Because friendly rivalry, we always bust each other's chops. We always have. We do. That's how you show love. And I forgot what he said. We walked in. He said something. We kind of went back and forth with our friction. And I remember saying something about, to the effect of, "Pop off again." And okay, let me back up. We had these, I don't know if you remember, Greek Orthodox church candles that we would light and have on our merch table. And we'd have like 15 of them on all the amps and stuff while we played live. Okay, now to catch up, he said something, and I don't remember what it was. He was just being Allan, being snarky and funny. And I said, if this is going to pop off like this, I said, I won't even think twice about throwing one of these flaming candles across the barn at you. And he's like, only an idiot would throw a lit candle across a barn like that. Right on cue, I threw one of the giant candles at, and his face was just like, no. And it was like no fire, no nothing. I was already prepared in my mind, and I know so was all of my guys on our crew. But I just remember the look on his face was like, "Dude, what are you, crazy?" And I was like, "I told you." I said, one more word out of you, it's gonna be like this. And that was one of the very first memories of Tom Fest. The second one was,
I can't believe I let you have candles in there.
I was going with this was Drew. I don't know if you remember Drew.
Wait, hold on for a second. How did I let you have candles in there? I would have. I didn't even know that. I've never heard that before.
Oh, look, dead bird. No. So if that's tripping you out, wait till part 2. Here we go.
There you go.
So Drew Fisher was the Circle of Dust sound guy, front of house guy, road manager. He came out with us to do some of these gigs, and in particular, he brought his attaché case full of his gunpowder and his pyro charges. Because the whole thing was we were going to have like 4x4 pyro. Because I don't know if you remember, we had 4 guitarists. So we were going to have flames at Tom Fest behind all the amps. I see Mike is disgust already. So Drew's, the things are like, like back in the day with the fireworks, like a mortar. You drop the thing in and you light it. And I said to Drew, I said, "How much do you have to put in here?" And he goes, "Been a while since I've done this. Let's take it outside and let's see how much gunpowder, how high the flames go. We'll adjust accordingly." So we were outside. He got off 2 charges. And the guy who, I don't know if he was a stage manager or the fire marshal, all I heard was, no, absolutely not. No. This not happen. I said, "Well, we can put less." He goes, "Or you can put none." We said, okay. And then I remember Drew was like, "Oh, I brought it all the way from LA. now we're not going to get to use the fire. And I was like, well, I guess it's better we don't burn the place down the first day of the festival, I guess, looking back in hindsight. But it was just so funny. I had those two memories last night, and I was like sitting in my apartment with my cat laughing hysterically alone, going, oh my God, the neighbors must think I'm just completely shot.
But as soon as you started, before you even started telling the story, he's like, oh, I have. And I was like, I knew exactly what was being said. But yeah, we were never getting in trouble, though. We were always good.
Eric from Savior Machine he was going to burn a flag on stage. And I said, no flames, man. We just can't do it.
Yeah.
Too dangerous. And he went up there and lit that flag on fire, and it caught on fire on the stage and burned up some cables and stuff. We're like, oh shit. So, yeah.
This is not going to end well.
Yeah.
Fire bad. Fire at festivals is not good.
We survived, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you guys had a good time at least.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Mikey, do you know who's going to be moderating Klank's panel?
No, not yet.
I think Doug Van Pelt would be great.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
So when you say, so how does the panels work? How many people are up there? 2, 4? Is it like a firing squad?
It'll be.
Wait, is it like the Still Suffering press tent event at Cornerstone when it first came out? We felt like we were just blindfolded with a cigarette waiting for the machine guns to go off.
That's fantastic. No, there'll be 4, maybe 5 guests, and then a moderator. And really, I'm interested in the stories of how all of us connect. The backstage, behind the scenes stuff, and all that. So each panel will be about an hour and 15 minutes, and we're just going to cover as much as we can in that time with the people that are up there. And the panels are kind of generic. They're more about genres and timelines rather than a topic. We didn't have time to get into too many topics, but we'll have like a Tom Fest panel. We're gonna have a Mike Knott panel. We have a ladies panel. But the other ones are mainly genres and eras, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
That's cool.
We're still working all that out right now. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll say.
Yeah, we've been stoked for it since you first mentioned it, kind of on the low. I was like, wow. I said, I'm like, we haven't had Tom Fest in so many years, and it was like to get all these people that were a part of it, attendee wise, performer wise, higher ups, all that. It was like, man, this is kind of cool. Then as time went on and you started talking about it more and more, and I was like, man, no real VIP. Everything is a VIP. You hang out, you come up to a table, you're, COVID spitting distance, you can actually talk to somebody and shake hands, take pictures. And I'm sure people will pull out this, hey, remember us at the merch table? And I'll be like, yeah, I was 23 and I was ripped. Now I'm like old and busted. What happened?
It is. I'm looking forward to the people that came as fans too, or Tom Festers too, but people that haven't had the opportunity. They go to shows, right? You go to a show and you see this band play, and then you go home, or you go to a meet and greet. You pay the extra money, or that kind of thing. So these kind of experiences don't come up very often. So I hope it's something that people really, really enjoy. Just being able to meet you guys, and talk to you. I mean, that's really the gist of the whole thing.
Yeah, and the fact that it's so interactive that you like you say, you don't have to go. You're not paying $250 extra to meet somebody or get an autograph or something. It's so organic, grassrootsy, and it's like, hey, you know what? There's not a bad seat. There is no, everybody. Right. If you're in the room, you're in the room. You're just like everybody else, and that's what I like too, because it kind of. I don't want to say it takes the ego out of things, but these days, like, I haven't been to a show since 2017. So like I'm kind of out of the loop, but I do see more and more bands that do shows, and I get it. In order to make extra money, a lot of times you got to do photo ops or whatever. But some of the times you go $450, $1,200 to meet somebody is like, that's a mortgage payment. That's a year of car insurance. Right. Your mind goes from your 20s to your 50s, your mind flips and your priorities change. You go, ooh, but if I do this, I won't be able to eat or have coffee this week, or pay my medical bills. And you're like, nah, got to be a little better thought wise. That's why this is going to be cool, because it's all inclusive, and it's not like you're charging $500 a head for somebody. You know, it's like that's in a nice place. It's Southern California, centrally located. Like you said, you're what, 7 minutes from the airport?
Right. We're actually 1 minute from the airport. It's like right down the street. So
that's great.
But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic time. Even just us getting together, like I said, the family reunion, just the high school reunion of it all. It's seeing everybody will be just a hoot.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Just seeing everyone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I mean, it's been forever since I've seen anyone. I don't leave my house.
I know, that's the thing. We're pretty much like homebodies. Like
that's a lot of people.
I come here on Fridays, or like a day like today when it's Monday, when we're off for a holiday. But otherwise, it's like, live in a beach town. I like to go out when school's in session because nobody's there. I have my little restaurant on the water. I always went to with my dog, and it's like now that school's finally back in session, I'm like the old man in the tower. I can peek through the curtain and it's safe. I can come out now for a little while, or at least a few months. Before everybody comes back.
Rapunzel.
And people are also in their lives, they're so far removed from being in the Christian alternative rock thing, right? Like they've had several lives in between there. A lot of them aren't involved in any of that kind of stuff anymore. But interesting that a lot of us have had just a whole other career or whatever, and coming back now and looking at it again is nostalgic and fun. And I don't know.
Especially because it's hard to believe how many years have actually
gone
past. Because what year was the actual last TOMFest? 2000 or 2002?
No, it was I stopped for a couple of years and then came back and did more. So I don't remember.
Even still, it's like even for yourself, it's like there's so many people that you know by face, and you knew every year. Like even if you didn't know their name, you're like, oh, dude, hey. That was the same way with all the fests, Cornerstone and all that, because you'd see those people. And you're like, you'd see them from across the field, and you were like, ah. And I have a feeling this is going to be the same thing. It's going to be
absolutely,
the big hug fest.
It will be a time to remember for all of us that were involved in that. So, I'm stoked for it. And I'm stoked you guys are coming. Thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Love it.
I appreciate it very much. Well, let's keep this short. We appreciate you guys being here. What about it, Rafa?
Yeah, I was just thinking about TOMFest, and I think when we started, it was 1995, and then the last one, I think, before you decided to take a break, Mikey, was 2001, and that's when we were starting to.
You did that,
both
graphic,
of us.
Right?
Yeah, I did. The 2001 was the 2001 Space Odyssey theme. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah.
What was our last one? 98?
I think the 98 was the last year we played. 98 or 99?
There's some good years. The 90s were
I think it was 97 and 98 was when we played.
98, I think, because we were about to we had to sell the Numb pre-orders to make money.
That's right, to get home from the West Coast. That's right. And we were recording in every hotel bathroom that we stayed in. We had lots of gear that we were wheeling in random bathrooms and rooms in general that we were put up in over that whole 2 tours.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I remember we're working on Numb.
Yes.
In the hotel.
Before we go, let's hear one story that you haven't shared on any podcast or any other interview from, let's say, some crazy story from tour. Can you guys think of anything?
That puts me on the spot. I wouldn't even be able to.
I know. Trying to remember what I had for breakfast.
Right.
Oh, I have an idea. Tell us about the tigers in the circus.
When I worked at Ringling Brothers, part of the job on my crew, transportation crew, was helping to bring in the tigers for the Tiger Act. So the tigers, and some years it was lions. When you look at when you go to the airport, you see those little diesel tugs. It's called the Harlan, and that's what I used to drive. And basically, you'd have 8 to 10, sometimes 12 cages behind you with 1 to 2 tigers per cage that had to be lined up a certain way, chained to the arena, and then chain safety. So my job as a transportation worker and a transportation boss was making sure that they all got brought in a certain order, because certain ones got along. And then it was like everything had to be backed up and then all set, waiting, and the act would happen. And then, the handlers would give the signs. Okay, take the first 2. They would move them out. We'd connect them, move it up, go to the next 2. And after a while, it was like a fine oiled machine. But there was a couple of instances where, like, especially when the act was just coming out of winter quarters, when it was still a little fresh, and they were, softening up the little rough edges of the acts and stuff. Sometimes, they'd get tigers would get pissy with each other, and they roar, but they do this really deep growl and sometimes swat at each other. And I just remember one of the times when it was just before opening night when we were doing the rehearsals. The one tiger was a bit of a scutch and just liked to swat at the other guys. And the handler was there with like a special fire extinguisher. So it wasn't the real expellent. It was a different type thing that wasn't harmful for the animals or whatever. And I just remember him like kind of lighting up the feet by where the tiger was. And he did that weird noise and then turned around and jumped in the cage. But then after that, he was good as gold. He didn't have any more issues with the rest of the tigers. I was glad that I got to deal with that from afar. I didn't have to touch the tigers. Good friend of mine that was on my crew was actually dating the woman that was the main handler. So I would kind of go and hang out at night with them at their RV and stuff. So it was kind of cool. That was definitely an unjob, like unorthodox, because I have pictures and memories of holding 12-week tiger cubs, bottle feeding them. People don't get those kind of memories.
Right.
And some of that stuff, as crazy as it was then, it's like I look at some of the pictures now and I'm just like, oh my God, that literally seems like we were talking like a lifetime ago, because so much has happened during people's lives since then.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Almost 20 years.
I know it's crazy.
Was it the tigers or was it the tigers or the lions that had very accurate aim?
Both.
They didn't like someone.
Tigers. I know where you're going. The tigers. But okay, if you didn't know, tigers and lions, they will lift their tail and they will urinate, and they can peg you in the face from 30 feet away. Like you'll just be sitting there leaning on a thing, and it'll just be, and it is what it is. You just took a urine bath. That's what it was. But a lot of times too, they would chuckle and laugh at you. And we had a guy, his name was Frank, who'd always just be leaning on the cages, and they'd always say, "Gotta watch, keep an eye out." Or they go tail up. As soon as you see a tail up, all of us were like the Matrix. We're trying to duck out of the way. This guy Frank was leaning against the cage, and they were just like tail, and he turned around, and I'll never forget. It was just all over him, and all he did was just, did one of these.
Awful.
Frustrating, but it was kind of disgusting, but funny though. I can laugh about it now. That guy stunk for like hours.
Yeah.
Because you have to finish the rest of the show before you can go home and shower. And and you know how it is when cats pee. It's that ammonia times like 1,000, because they're 600 plus pounds.
Jeez.
No joke.
They're the largest cat out of any of them. They're heavier than the lions.
Yeah. And like I said, but when they were 13 weeks old, bottle feeding them, and then a couple of months later, seeing them down the road after they left the babies were not on our show anymore, and they went to do they went to do a different show. I remember my buddy was like, "Oh, hey," he goes, "Look who that is," and it was Vishnu, one of the ones that we called it my tiger, because he was really drawn to me. So I went up and I was shoofing at him. That was the noise you made. And I went up to the side of the arena and I put my hands like this, and he stopped and he made all this noise. And then he came running over and he was putting his face up on the side so I could rub him. And Jerry's like, "Look, he remembers you. He totally remembers you." Because I spent like six months with this thing. It was awesome. And then seeing how big he was after I used to hold him was just like, whoa. It was like standing next to a Volkswagen, It's crazy.
Intimidating. What a life. What a life.
Yes. Hi.
So tell us about what was the impetus for synth-pop LullaBye? And I want to share one of the songs. Let me know. Tell us a little bit about it, and we can play one of the songs.
Yeah, it's actually something that we probably.
Oh wait.
Wait.
Hold on for a second.
We're both really big into like Depeche Mode. I'm wearing a Depeche Mode shirt. Like Olives in the Water, all those type of electronic bands. And we always just wrote music. And there was some things that just weren't Klank, right? A little softer, more electronic, driven. And we released the first song on a sampler, on a compilation in like 2000 under the band name 54. And then we just always had these songs floating around. So we finally, our artist and business partner, Anthony, he was like, when are you going to put these out? And then he just started making art for it and then pushing us. And then we were like, all right, let's go through what we have and finish up. So we just figured, let's release it.
He's like, now that the artwork's done, you can't piss and moan and say there's no artwork for it. He goes, now you got to finish the music.
Yeah, and then he would make videos like, it's here, so just get off your butt.
Remember you said you were going to finish it? Now you're going to finish it. We're like, okay. Again, when you don't have somebody standing over you waving their finger at you, you kind of slack a little.
Right.
True.
Yeah, so it's like a fun little side project that we do.
What would you guys say is your favorite song on the EP?
I don't remember what songs are on it.
Please don't tell me.
Yeah,
please don't tell me it's like the biggest earworm hooky one in that. And now again, that was one that started like that was a total happy accident. It was a keyboard line. I was like, hey Pat, check this out. And he's like, oh, this is dope. Put all the stuff behind it, and it sat on a hard drive. And then it was like,
isn't that the one where you had the MP3 and we lost it? We had to recreate.
We had to recreate the entire session.
I totally forgot about it. And we were in the studio, and he's like, "Oh, what about Please Don't Tell Me?" And I'm like, "What song is that?" And we started going through all my hard drive stuff. Couldn't find it. I did lose a hard drive one time, so I'm assuming it was on there.
Yeah.
And then so we had the MP3. Luckily, we had the MP3 from like 20 years earlier.
A low quality MP3.
We had to figure out and remake everything again from scratch.
Wow.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The only thing that we couldn't recreate is my 22-year-old voice. That just didn't work. But it was still cool.
Yeah, I don't think I could go back and I couldn't sing again like I did and Sometimes Sunny. No way. My body could not do it. No way.
Yeah. You got to drop the key down and tune down to everything.
Do the Bon Jovi and be 5 octaves lower.
Yeah.
So here we go. It's chill driving music.
Yeah.
As I look at this world, it brings tears to my eyes. I see brother fighting brother, I can't understand why. Though we differ in appearance, we're the same down inside. So tell me, why must we fight? We need more love, love, love in this place. We need more love, love, love today. We need more love, love, love in this place. We need more love, love, love today. We need more love.
So it's
All right.
a different side of us.
More positive.
More
It's the
positive,
side of us.
upbeat.
Yeah.
Not to say the Klank isn't positive, but Klank usually focuses on more of the heavier of the emotions and stuff. So with this too, it was like getting in a different mindset too, to be like, oh, like I don't say like it's a different day, but it is. Like some days you get up and you're just kind of like, "Arr." Other days you get up, you're like, oh man, today's a great day, blah blah blah, and this kind of stuff was born all out of those days and that mindset. So
And I think that's what pushed us to release it too. The way of the world, everything is all negative all the time. Try to put something more positive out into
Yeah, into the ether.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes, it is. It's
Great.
true.
Yeah.
Especially these days, everything is just doom and gloom, and you
Right.
know, any news report you watch, it isn't about the cat that was saved from the fireman in the tree. It's just disaster after disaster after disaster, and you're just like, oh, yeah. That's why after a while, you're just like, I can't even watch the news. You know, I
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want to be depressed and miserable and swing from a rope, I'll watch the news.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
That's the vibes you get from it these days. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
All right.
what do you think we should talk about with Allan on Wednesday? Got any tips or suggestions we should ask him?
how he likes living in Mormon country.
That's a
He is
good
in
one.
Salt Lake, you know.
Right.
Yeah, he's above that somewhere. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think he's doing good. We'll ask him about that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I'm looking forward to
And,
seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, but especially I saw him in passing in Texas when I was down there with Ringling Brothers. I had him and his family come down, and it was ironically my birthday. So I took off for a couple hours. We went to one of his friends' houses that had a pool. And his kids were like small, like 7, 8. So now, like, you know, I'll randomly FaceTime on mine. What are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm driving my kids to the airport. And I look in the back. I'm like, kids, you got beard, you're bald, you're older. I'm like, all of a sudden I feel like I'm 70. You know, this is the same kid I was throwing in the pool when he was 7.
Right.
Now he's taller than me. You know?
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. So, well, we're really looking forward to hanging out with you guys, and just to everyone watching. These guys are going to be. You're going to be there both days, right? To hang out, and well, I guess will you guys be getting there Thursday?
Yeah, what I'm thinking, that's what I was going to talk to Mikey afterwards. I'm thinking of
Mhm.
we're probably gonna come in Thursday night. So we'll do Thursday night and Friday night, and then leave Saturday in the evening. That way
Okay.
we can get home and you know, because it's only like a 45-minute flight, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. So yeah, you'll be there for basically all the hangout time. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're looking
So-
forward to it.
Yeah. It'd be nice seeing everyone.
Yeah. Great. Well, TOMCON is coming up October 24th and 25th, and on the 23rd in the evening we'll be all hanging out as well. So you guys don't miss it, and get a chance to hang out with Pat and Klank.
Yeah,
get
because
your-
we're already officially in
available now.
September. Today we're in September, so this is
That's
gonna
right.
Blinking.
we're gonna pole vault into October
Yeah.
before you know it.
Right. I used to do pole vault in high school. I don't know if I told you that.
No,
Really?
no.
Yeah, my highest was 10 feet. Didn't get that high, but that was not bad for the first year.
That's 10 feet
Yeah.
higher than I would have gotten.
I'm afraid of the landing on that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on.
yeah.
Appreciate it
Awesome.
very much. Can't wait to see you guys.
No, love you guys.
Don't leave the studio after we kill the stream, so that way it uploads the video, and we can make a nice. System will put it all together, and yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Appreciate
thanks,
everybody
thanks
watching.
guys for coming. Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us. Great talking.
Likewise.
Okay, now we're out, right? So